This is the brand new Galaxy S24, the little baby of the family, and it sort of looks like an iPhone when you look at it from different angles. This is a design change from the S23, but there are some or more intricate changes that have been undergone on the Samsung S24, and I would like to compare it to the Google Pixel 8. Some people say that the Pixel 8 is the underdog of the industry, and I also realize that little phones matter a lot, I might add. So here I am helping out because these are two of the best Android phones on the market, but how do they compare to each other? Let's find out. Starting with the overall design, it looks similar to the past versions, the S22 and the S23, and at this point, I do not think there is going to be any new design change for a while. The colors this year are the same across board: black, gray, violet, and yellow, with gray being my favorite color. But because it was sold out, I opted for the second best, the violet, which is fine. It weighs 167 grams, and after using it for about 2 to 3 weeks, I have come to the conclusion that I hate this particular build for the S24. Let me explain. First of all, it looks like an iPhone and carries more or less the same build as the iPhone 14 or the iPhone 15. If you don't believe me, here it is side by side with the iPhone 14 Pro. This has more or less the same color, same square shaped design, same antenna placement, same everything, to be honest. And people have asked me what version of the iPhone this is because this doesn't have a notch, and when I was walking on the street, I found it very funny. Now the problem I have with the S24 is how sharp the edges are, and using this without a case is very uncomfortable, even though it is very compact at the same time. Maybe if this were titanium, I'll have a different perspective altogether. The sides are the same as the S23, the volume and the power button are on the right hand side, and at the bottom you have a USB-C port and stereo speakers, and like I said, it is almost the same design as the S23. The Pixel 8 also saw limited design changes from the Pixel 7. It still has a glossy back, and I need Google to finally move away from this because going forward, everything should have a matte finish. But if you're coming from the Pixel 6 or even the Pixel 7, I guess you're going to feel right at home. Now the sides are aluminum from corner to corner and weighs more than the Galaxy S24, about 20 grams heavier if I remember. It has a USB-C port also at the bottom and some of the best stereo speakers in a smaller form factor. Now, who has the better design depends on you and what you prefer. Personally, they have similar design patterns with the exception of the camera, so if we're going with that logic, then the S24 is my choice with the better design. Now moving on to the display, Samsung usually don't mess about when it comes to the displays of their phones, and I'm happy to say that they're continuing this trend. It is still a 6.2-inch screen with a dynamic AMOLED panel, a 120Hz refresh rate, and of course the Vision Booster feature just in case your screen is not bright enough, which is kind of wild when you consider the S24 is 2600 nits, making this one of the brightest smartphones in the industry. The Pixel 8 is an OLED panel with a variable refresh rate that can switch from 60Hz to 120Hz. Now most people don't know this, but the Pixel 8 actually ships with 60Hz turned on, so you need to go in your settings and switch to a higher refresh rate, but just remember it'll cost you a bit of your battery life. A huge upgrade here: when this came out in October last year, the brightness went up to 2000 nits. That has since been eclipsed by the S24 and its brighter display. Now apart from that, as far as display goes, both are pretty good, although the Pixel 8 scratches very easily. These scratches happened 2 days after I unboxed the phone. It was in my pocket with a bunch of keys. I bring it out and I had these ridiculous scratches that did not go anywhere. Granted, you don't notice them a lot when you're using it, but they're there. Now, I'm not saying the S24 is scratch resistant, but the Pixel could have been better. Now, even though the Pixel 8 has all these things going for it, the S24 has a better display with better brightness and an overall better experience. Some people hate it, some people love it, but AI is here to stay, and Samsung is finally moving in that direction. So let's address the big elephants in the room. Now, there is a lot of debate on Samsung copying Google with these features or even collaborating with them, and in a world where everyone is just copying themselves and everyone else, I don't really see a big deal. Google is far ahead of everyone in the smartphone industry when it comes to AI, so it only makes sense that others either copy them or collaborate, and Samsung decided to do both. So in terms of collaborating, Samsung has the circle to search feature that is also on the Pixel 8. Basically, with circuit to search, you can highlight any image, any object on your phone, and Google will bring out a search results with different items or different places you want to get them. So for example, if you see a shirt or a pair of shoes that you like, you can circuit to search it and it gives you the exact website you can buy it. It's very good, very intuitive, and it is basically like Google Lens, but a better version of it. Now, if we're talking about copying, we're talking about Transcript Assist, and this is similar to the Recorder app on the Pixel 8. It helps transcribe recorded messages, business meetings, and the likes. It also specifies how many people are talking. If the recordings are too long, you can use Galaxy AI to summarize the entire note for you. And if that isn't enough, you can also translate the recordings into 13 different languages. Those features are nice, but I think the biggest flex for me is their live translate feature. It happens on device and it acts as a real-time interpreter during phone calls. This is great and I've tried it out and it's almost like magic. But then I realized it is better suited for short transactional conversations like making reservations, for instance, because anything after that, I think Galaxy AI just loses its patience. What Samsung are really emphasizing here is how great the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip is, because some of these features are done on the phone itself, which just further shows how powerful the chipset is. I currently use the Snapdragon version because I'm in North America instead of Exynos, and after watching other people's reviews, the Exynos version is not that bad. With benchmark scores, they aren't so far apart. That being said, it also shows how good the Pixel 8 is. Because it has a lower chipset, it can still carry out all these AI features, even if some of them are cloud-based. So for this round, even though the S24 does have a more powerful chipset, Google has pioneered most of these AI features with the Tensor G3 chip, so it's only fair we give them their flowers and give this round a tie. With the battery life, the S24 has seen a slight increase this year, making the battery a 4,000 mAh. Now, in my last few weeks, it's been pretty decent. Okay, if I really want to be critical, and just like my experience with the S24 Ultra, the battery on the S23 last year was way better. And I know it's still early days and they can obviously fix this with software updates, but right now the problems still persist. It could be the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, it could be the new AI features, it could be the new display and many other things. But one thing is sure, the Pixel 8 has given me better battery than the S24. And of course, with every new phone, we have to talk about the cameras. And there is literally no difference in the camera specs between the S24 and the S23. Same camera, same specs, which will probably give us the same picture quality. The selfie cameras are a very divisive category between these two phones. The S24 is pretty good in capturing as much detail as possible as well as color, but when it comes to darkest skin, it has a hard time processing what I actually look like. Compare that with the Pixel 8, which has True Tone. It captures the closest visual identity to what I look like off camera. However, some people say Samsung is better in that regard, and I just chalk it up to everyone having subjective opinions. Daylight pictures are great on both phones. It is punchy, crispy, with good dynamic range. But on the S24, Samsung's picture profile adds a lot of saturation than usual. So if you don't like editing pictures on the go, then this might just be for you. But if you want more of a natural look that offers more detail, the Pixel 8 is the better choice. With the lack of a telephoto lens on the Pixel 8, the S24 is much better when it comes to portrait pictures and zoomed in images. If you're going above 5x, then you're going to start seeing the differences. The ultra-wide lenses are basically the same in my opinion, just more color on the S24 than the Pixel. With video, the Pixel 8 can shoot up to 4K while the S24 can go all the way up to 8K. Both are good, and of course shooting in 8K is a nice to have, and by the specs the S24 is the better video shooter. But even though the footage right here from the S24 is in 8K, I can't see a difference. Maybe you guys can. Let me know down in the comments. As a camera unit, both the S24 and the Pixel 8 are pretty good. They both have different picture profiles and cater to everyone's needs, but it goes without saying that if I had to pick one phone to take pictures on, it would definitely be the Pixel 8. On the other hand, if I had to take videos or do a shoot, it would definitely be the Galaxy S24. With all that being said, which offers the better value? Both of these phones may be under $1,000, but the value here is the main focus. The Pixel 8 is $549, and with that, you're getting a great display, a better battery, more AI features, 7 years of software updates, and a great camera. Usually, the price of the Pixel 8 is $699, but right now, Google is doing a sale, so this might be the best time to get the Pixel 8. While the S24 is a great compact phone with a brighter display, great camera, and of course, very good software and support. But I think the $799 price tag is more expensive considering you get the same features for cheaper on the Pixel 8. But that is just one man's opinion. I'd like to hear yours. Is the Pixel 8 the better value, or is the S24 the better compact phone? Comment down below and let me know. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you got any value from this. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.